All right, guys, we're already going to start. Welcome to the stream. This is VV Thomas, and today we will be racing on the Suzuka circuit. It is going to be full throttle F1 Racing League, as it's going to be the second race of season 8. We will be driving in Japan, as I already said. The first Grand Prix ever held on this track was in 1987. We're going to do a total of 27 laps, and I do think there's going to be a full qualifying. The circuit length of one lap is around 5.8 kilometers, and the total race distance will be around 156 kilometers. This is not qualifying included, of course. The best quality record ever recorded was a 127, so I don't think anyone is going to beat that today because we've not seen many guys beat the actual time. And the best lap record ever recorded was a 130.9. That's also going to be quite difficult, especially in these cars. The most Grand Prix wins on this track is by Michael Schumacher, and he has 6 in total. As I already said, it's going to be Japan, 126 million inhabitants, quite a big country, and the best overtaking opportunities will happen in turn 1 and 2 and maybe in turn 11. 11 is quite a controversial one because, I mean, it's quite a slow one and you don't have much room to make a move there. But especially in turn 1, I think it's quite important to make a move there. Maybe on the long straight in sector 3 going to sector 2 going to sector 3, because sector 3 is quite a small sector. But also at the start finish straight, we might see a little bit of overtakes, as you will have DRS, I think. You will have DRS, yeah. Only one DRS spot here on this track, but it's going to be exciting because last race we saw quite a few guys who did very great. I think it was Phantom who won the race, and we're going to have a look at the game. No, we're going to talk about our sponsor first, because of course, as we all know, the Full Throttle Racing League has a sponsor, and that's going to be Auto Magneto, as you see the guys here on screen. Yeah, Auto Magneto. Thank you very much in the chat. So Auto Magneto is a wholesale or retail seller of auto parts over whole Africa. So that's great if you're searching some auto parts. Make sure to check them out, because on the right side of the screen you can see all the parts they have. They have quite a lot, so that's something remarkable to see here in Belgium. We've got such companies too, but as not with so many parts. So if you are interested in such parts, make sure to check them out. Just Auto Magneto on the internet, and you will be able to see all their information. So yeah, let's get straight into the qualifying, as we're gonna have a full qualifying today. As you can see on the left top, there will be a little bit of a jump in. In a couple of seconds, you will see the logo of the league, and now you see the logo of the sponsor, because obviously it's quite important. So, Suzuka, interesting track. I've done a race here on Friday, and it was very difficult to make overtakes on. So yeah, I don't expect there's going to be multiple overtakes today. We might see a few crashes because these curbs are not done. It's actually horrendous to drive on these curbs. Basically you drive on a curb and your car is in the wall. That's basically what happens, especially when you're running no TC, because I mean, if you run medium TC, you can touch the throttle on the curbs, but if you run no TC, which I would suggest, you're gonna lose your car when you touch the curb. So that's something you have to look out for, as we're gonna see as a F1. I'm Alonso. Okay, that was quite a difficult name, but doesn't really matter, as we want to see how they're doing on track. Going into sector 1, taking the corner quite beautifully. He's leaving quite a bit of room on the curbs there. He did touch that curb on the inside, which is quite dangerous, but he managed to make it through, as he is coming across the second sector right now in a few seconds, as this is going to be a corner where you have to take a lot of curb to gain much speed. He has just put in the fastest first sector, but he invalidated this lap, unfortunately. So I think he was going to go a little bit slower there. My apologies for the no sound. And there we go. It was my fault. I had problems with my computer like I had yesterday. Quite unfortunate, but I mean, we managed to correct it. So yeah, let's go and have a look at SSL Mango. Quite a fast driver, but he was very unfortunate last race as he spun himself in the wall. He's burning some fuel right now, as that's going to be quite interesting. Maybe there is already someone on the track. We see Phantom right now going into the third sector. And he has the Aston Martin in front of him, but he's not leaving too much space, and that means that the Red Bull driver had to go off his throttle a little bit. He will not try to set this lap, in my opinion. I think he's going to try and go for another one. So we're going to see Shumi right now. There is a yellow flag in sector 3. That's the Aston Martin going very slow, so Shumi has to watch out, because obviously he is in the third sector right now. Just put in the fastest second sector. Quite an amazing lap. Nobody has put a lap in yet, so Thiago Maestro right now with the fastest lap, 140.8. I think that's quite beatable. As we're gonna have a look at Shumi, 131.0. Absolutely amazing lap. First lap of the race. It's only Q1, so we will see many more laps, many better laps. I think if this is gonna be the fastest lap of the race, I mean, of the qualifying, that's going to be very impressive to set it in your first lap in Q1. So Jean right now has put in the second fastest lap. Zardi the fourth fastest lap, but I don't think that's a valuable lap because, I mean, he has put in a 149 and that's almost 18 seconds slower. So yeah, he's gonna try and put in another lap. I think he's going for one right now because he's going for quite fast and he spins out, so that won't count as a faster lap. Unfortunately, we're gonna have a look at Zivan as he's coming across this beautiful chicane here, as he's going across the start finish line, and he has put in the fastest lap of 130.8. So yeah, that's amazing. Let me have a quick look at what the quali record is in the actual F1. It's a 127, so these guys still have a long way to go, as it looks like we're having the what is it called, the layout of the Singapore Grand Prix from the McLaren team, as there's been an update today from the F1 game. And it seems like the pink suits the car beautifully, and I think these guys are very proud to drive in the McLaren today, because obviously it's a good looking car. It's a constructor that holds so much history, especially with Lewis Hamilton earlier a few years ago. But yeah, I mean, look at this car, beautiful design, and he's coming into the pits. He's gonna put in some new rubber, as it looks like Alonso is gonna come across the first few corners, quite dangerous corners, and we saw him crash a little bit earlier, and it didn't seem like he was going for new tires. So let's have a look how many laps he's already on these tires. 2 laps old tires, and yeah, I mean, obviously when you're on so many laps on these tires, your tires are going to start to overheat, and that's not really what it should do, as we're gonna see Sims coming out. He doesn't have a front wing, so I'm not quite sure why he didn't come into the pits, as we're gonna see him do another lap without front wing. So Thiago Maestro hasn't really put in a fast lap. He is spinning out here in the second sector, as we're gonna see quite a few drivers out right now on the lap. Arno Gauss, who is a Division 2 driver, let's see what he can perform here in the Premier Division, as this will be the Premier Division league. That's all I can say, guys. These drivers are absolutely amazing. They're the fastest of this league. And I mean, we see that there are quite some not really discussions, but different opinions on what team should win this race. We are seeing some Mercedes boys in the chat. We're seeing some AlphaTauri boys in the chat, but it doesn't look too great for both drivers. Maybe we can have a look at Burn It Down, as he is just coming across the first sector line, and we're gonna have a look. He is not doing too well. 49 seconds, and I think that's a little slow. But he might be able to improve a little bit, as there is a yellow flag in sector 2, and quite a couple of drivers are going very slow there on the straight. We might see a little team play here, that the teammate of Nadim has given Nadim a little bit of what am I saying, slipstream, and he's coming across this beautiful chicane, as I already spoke about it. Quite a difficult chicane, you know. You if you carry too much speed, and especially when you have that what's it called, that racing line on the ground, it shows it too far away. So when you brake, when the line shows it, it's not really. I mean, you're going too wide, and you're gonna lose 3-4 tenths, maybe even more. Let's have a look. We're seeing McLaren, and it seems like the McLaren drivers are doing pretty good. SSL Mango just put in the fastest lap, beating his competition with 1.4 seconds. So that's crazy to see. Arno Gauss, I think he's going for another lap. I know he gave a little of slipstream to his teammate, and now he's going to try to put in a lap himself. And maybe if his teammate is going a little bit faster, he can give that slipstream to Arno back, but it doesn't seem like it. He did have the fastest first sector, but that's all gonna be destroyed because he almost crashed into the wall. It didn't really look like it. Ooh, he's driving very dangerous. Not quite sure. Might leave a little bit of room for the drivers who still have to pass, as he is on the racing line right now, and there's a Ferrari right behind him, but he makes beautiful space to let him go through. So let's have a look at Burn It Down, as he's just right behind the Alfa Romeo driver. Maybe we want to see, wait, I got a beautiful view, hold on. So we're gonna see this, right? And if we go to camera type and we're going to the back, we're gonna see who is close to who, and that's always great to see. Let's have a look here. Thiago, as he has the AlphaTauri driver right behind him, and we can see how fast is he closing the gap, because we all know that Arno isn't on the lap right now, and I'm not quite sure if the AlphaTauri driver right in front, right behind him is also on a lap, and it doesn't seem like it, and he's gonna give a little bit of tow. So yeah, there goes the AlphaTauri driver. So we're gonna have a quick look at what time he is gonna put on the table. As I said, he's going a little bit too wide, and I think that's caused him to invalidate his lap. Let's have a look at Arno. He's gonna come in too for some new rubber, and we see Jean right now. Is he gonna put a good lap in? That's gonna be the question. Right now he's in P5 with, I mean, he's 3 seconds off SSL Mango's time, and I think that's quite a big of a difference. 3 seconds in a quali lap. It's still Q1, so I mean, if he's secure of that top 10 position, he might be able to secure a Q3 whenever Q2 is on the go. But right now it seems like he's dropping quite rapidly, because we're seeing people like Top Dog, Grimjaw, Matrav putting in a lap. I think Matrav is called Travis, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're coming quite close to Mango. I mean, 6 tenths is quite a bit, but Mango is showing some great pace on this track, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like this track before I raced it, but after the race, it was a beautiful race, and I mean, you really start to love this track once you've done a couple of laps on it, and once you are avoiding the curbs, because I mean, I used to drive time trials on this track, touching the curbs, and it wasn't really my thing. And someone spoke about the livery of the McLaren drivers, and I already spoke a little bit about it. As we are seeing Shaw improving by 4 tenths, it's not going to be enough to improve any positions. But yeah, as I said already, the livery of the McLaren team, absolutely amazing. Its delivery they run at the Singapore Grand Prix, and it was also beautiful to see it on TV, but now you're seeing it in game. It's quite amazing, because I mean, you can see, I'm not quite sure how I should zoom in. I don't think that's even possible, but I mean, the details is so amazing, and yeah, I cannot say too much about it, but the pink and the orange is well blend in, and I mean, I wish they would do more of this stuff. Not only McLaren, but teams like Aston Martin, we've never seen a livery from Aston Martin. They are one of the newer teams, but it would be amazing to see. I mean, the yellow line, you know, what would what my apologies, guys. What would be a cool concept is maybe change that line to, for example, if you're having Belgium, change that line to red, and then or if you're gonna have France, change it to blue, the Netherlands change it to orange, and for example, all those countries can represent the color. That would be absolutely fantastic, and just great to see that the drivers are, well, the teams are actually changing liveries, and that would be a cool concept. Also for other teams like Red Bull, who have done the camo livery back in 2018 or 19, I think it was, in a practice session at the front, well, at the beginning of the season. We also saw a little bit of Alfa Romeo doing during the practice session, running a camel livery because they didn't have the official livery spoiled. That's great to see. So we're gonna have a look at Zivan, as he is currently P8. He's not really showing some great paces. It is a little bit of glitched, but he's gonna come across the line with a 130.2, so he's gonna place himself P4. Absolutely amazing job by Zivan. And it seems like Jean has all the way dropped back to P12, and he is a little bit dangerous for that Q3 position, because I mean, if he's not really showing some great pace here, it might be difficult to come back in Q2, and it's not really a confidence boost whenever you're P12 in Q1. So yeah, he has to do either something about his setup or something else. And apparently, a little fact, the McLaren livery is called Future Mode. So yeah, we're seeing a little bit of a skull faces on the, I'm not sure. I thought I saw a little skull face. Well, I can't really see it, so I don't think, I must have been mistaken, but the merge they had on, there was a skull face on it. It reminded me of Pokemon. I'm not sure if anyone watches Pokemon, but they had a little skull face of Team Skull or whatever they were called in the Sun and Moon game. But yeah, that doesn't really matter. It's racing here, as we are at the Suzuka Grand Prix. And we're actually, let's discuss the calendar of this season, because, oh, my apologies, guys. Let me have a quick look if I can get the calendar up, and it does seem like I can get the calendar up. So I'm gonna switch to the calendar. So the first race we had was in Singapore. That stream, I mean, there was something wrong with the stream, and I think it was because of the music, so they deleted the stream, unfortunately. I mean, YouTube did, not the admins, but YouTube did delete the stream. Very unfortunate, because it was a great stream. I mean, it was the first race of the season. It was in Singapore. It was a lot of rain. Doesn't really matter. But we're seeing Japan right now. And then the next few races will be Bahrain, Coda, Mexico, and then I think Saudi Arabia, Brazil, Abu Dhabi, Portugal, Imola. And the season ender is going to be China. And that's going to be very, very interesting to see China at the last race of the season. How did they make the calendar? I think they just picked, well, each team could pick one race, I think, and then at the end of the season, well, at the beginning of the season, they're doing a pick a wheel sort of thing, and then they're sorting the calendar that way. So that's going to be your season 8 calendar for the Premier Division. As I already said, Singapore was last week, Japan is this week, and we're seeing Bahrain next week. Maybe we can talk a little bit about the standings too, because it's very interesting standings that we are seeing right now. This is going to be your driver standings, because there is a little thing about the constructor standings, but I need to talk about that later. So right now we are seeing the driver standings on the screen. First place is for Phantom. Then we are seeing Matraf, who has the second place with 25 points. We are seeing Grimjaw in third place. We are seeing Top Dog in fourth place. And to fill in the fifth place is going to be Jean. So yeah, that's great to see, as it's a great layout for everyone. Well, to have a quick look at how things look like. Let's get back to the race, as we are just finishing Q1, as we got still 2 qualifyings to go. I'm gonna take a little sip from my water, so I'll be right back with you guys. So yeah, guys, let's have a quick look at the top 5. It's gonna be Mango in P1, with quite a big of a difference to P2, who is actually Phantom. Then we're seeing Matrav in P3, Zivan in P4, and SAF1 in P5. And Top Dog seems to have found his form back. He's in P6 right now. I think what happened last race, I'm trying to remember what happened last race, because I know that Mango had great pace in qualifying, but he crashed out multiple times during the race. It was also some difficult conditions, though. It was full wet weather and we had 4 or 5 safety cars. It wasn't really, I mean, how do I say this? It was a mess, you know. It's not because of the drivers, it's just because of the conditions, because during these races here, we are also, I mean, in real life F1 we are also seeing some carnage and a few safety cars. We even saw a red flag this weekend. Yeah, I mean, it's quite obvious that red flags don't really work on this game. Well, they get switched around with safety cars. It seems like we had a few last week, but that doesn't really matter, of course, because we had a great race. And I think the winner of that race was Phantom, and we had to look out for Travis, everyone said, but Phantom was the driver who took it all, as we are going underway for qualifying 2, also presented by your sponsor Auto Magneto, as we are seeing it on the screen right now. A little bit of more information about Auto Magneto. They are a wholesale and retail seller of auto parts, so, well, car parts, I'll say it like that. So in the whole African region, they are selling car parts. As you can see on the right side of the screen, those are all the parts they are having, and that's absolutely amazing. I mean, they got so much. I mean, I even think you can build a Formula One with that. Well, a Formula One car. Uh, as we are going to have a look at the game right now, as all the drivers are coming out of the pit lane, as we got still a few minutes into the qualifying. I mean, for 50 minutes to talk about Q2, and it's, I mean, you know what the thing is, Q1 is always interesting to see where the drivers are, and like what they are compared to all the other drivers, and then Q3 is to determine the P1, P2, P3 positions. But I mean, Q2 is also in real life F1, it's not really as exciting as all the other 2 qualifying sessions, and it is more interesting when you have rainy weather, because that switches around a couple of things. But if it's dry, and it seems like it's going to be dry for the whole season, because the admins have decided to put in some dry weather for the whole season to make sure there is no carnage like last week. I mean, I can only support that decision. I was there for 2.5 hours with 4 or 5 safety cars, and right now we will see a couple of safety cars, but it's not going to rain, so that will decrease the amount of safety cars. So yeah, great decision. And I think they're doing that for all the other divisions too. So yeah, we will only see dry weather races. But yeah, I mean, it's better for overtakings, it's better for qualifying, it's better for viewers, because you don't have those rainy things on your, what's it called, water drops? I think it's called water drops. You don't have water drops on your screen, and it doesn't really interfere with the commentary. It seems like there are already some Ferrari friends in the chat, as I need to sneeze real quick, so I'll be right back with you guys. And it seems like already someone is on the lap. Let's have a quick look on who is the first driver on the lap right now. And I think it's going to be the McLaren. Jean? No, it's going to be Zivan, I think. No, it's not going to be Zivan either. It's going to be one of the Red Bulls. It's going to be Phantom. And he just put in the fastest first sector. So that's great to see. And let me know in the chat, guys. Do you think the 128s are going to be there? I know that Mango has put a 129.4 in Q1, but do you guys think there's going to be a 128s during this session or maybe Q3? As we are seeing Phantom right now. Maybe I should get the charts up real quick. Is Phantom going to be the one person, well, the first person actually, to put in a 128? It seems like he's going quite fast. He has a lot of battery left, so that's great. On these long straights, he put the fastest second sector in. And I think he should be able to put in a good lap. I think the Aston Martin right behind him has done a better lap. And he invalidated his lap. So we're going to switch over immediately to I'm Alonso. My apologies if I mispronounce your name. It's quite a difficult name. And a 130.2. Q3 might see it 128. Yeah, I think so too. And it's really going to be interesting to see Thiago Maestro. They're all coming across the line right now. Thiago Maestro, third place, 131.7. Okay, that's a good explanation. Thank you for the clarification. So yeah, actually the calendar is based on the in real life F1 calendar. So my apologies for the miscommunication, but I thought it was like that. But this even makes more sense. I mean, China as a final race, quite interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's what the calendar says. You know, it's gonna be an amazing race. I've not seen too much races on China. As we are going to see Japan right now. I think those, well, I mean, it is what track you prefer. I prefer Japan. I've not done many races on China, especially that long straight on China in Sector 3 is a bit of a, well, an interesting part of the track. You know, you have so, yeah, you can basically overtake 4 people in one straight, so yeah, a bit controversial, but we are also seeing some good races around China. And let's see who is on the lap right now. Phantom, who is coming into the pits. So all the other drivers are on outliers because all these drivers are probably coming in as they are gonna set in some new rubber. And it seems like Sivan is gonna put in another lap. No, he's coming into the pits. I thought the pit entry was a little bit earlier, as we are seeing Matraf right now. Is he gonna try and put in a better lap? Well, of course he's gonna try and put in a better lap, but is he actually gonna succeed to do it? That's another question, you know. A lot of questions going on right now, as it will be the main question: who will finish in P1 in Q3? And my prediction is gonna be SSL Mango P1. P2 is gonna be for. Let me do a quick thinking. P2 is gonna be for Travis, and P3 is gonna be for Phantom, and then after that I think Alonso might have a little chance. He has a chance to come quite high. And then we also got Top Dog, who finished P5 or 6 last race. Arno Calls, the Division 2 driver, is currently on the lap. And we're gonna take a better look at how he's gonna perform around this track. He's taking quite a bit of curb there, which might cause him to lose a little bit of time, but he's taking these corners beautifully. As I find it quite difficult to nail the corners around this track. SSL Mango 129.2, so that's almost a 128. Plus he still has to improve by almost 3/10 to get that track. Well, get that P1 position with a 128. So Arnold goes right now. And he's losing quite a bit of time by going a little wider there into that corner. As we're seeing Mango right now. beautiful lap, you know, nothing to remark that on, as we are seeing Shumi right now on the lap going into that little chicane in the third sector, and he's gonna come across the line to put in a 130.3 that will place him P3. Bab also has put in a lap 130.32, just like Chumi, but he is a few hundreds off, so that's caused him to get P4 instead of P3. That's how it works, guys. A yellow flag in sector 1, and I think that might be a driver who's going quite slow. I think that was either the Ferrari or the Red Bull driver. Nothing too serious because the yellow flag is already gone. As we're seeing Bob right now, I don't think he's on a lap. He's going quite slow, and he's not in full throttle, so I don't think he is on a lap. Let's have a look with someone else. Top Dog, he's on an out lap right now, so Top Dog not really having the best pace in qualifying, as he is currently in P10. He's leaving quite a bit of space for the drivers who want to get past because they're on a fast lap. And I think that was a Ferrari driver. It was Super D, who's currently in a lap, but he hasn't set a lap in yet. So I'm not quite sure who fell out of the Q1 results. I mean, we had two drivers who were 16th and 17th, but I missed who those drivers were. So maybe I have to look it up real quick. I mean, it's not really that important, you know. We will see them at the back of the grid, and it's not like they're going to do much damage from P16 and P17. I mean, we never know, you know. We might see some crazy moves from them, so we'll have a better look at them at the beginning of the race. Super D right now coming across the line with a 130.3, so he's going to beat his own teammate, push him back to P5, as it seems like Grimjaw is on a lap, and he's not put in a great lap. He's on a fast lap, and I think he was warming up his tires to put in another lap, as he just put in, well, earlier, a 130.9. And let's have a look if he's coming into the pits or if he's gonna try and set in another lap on these old tires. And it seems like he's going for another lap. So let's have a look if he's gonna make sure to get into that P10, well, top 10 position, because top 10 goes through to Q3. And we're seeing drivers like Top Dog, Jean, and Phantom who haven't put a lap in yet. Yeah, they're getting dropped out of Q2. Well, Q3. I'm not sure how that works. Well, I know how the qualifying thing works, but I don't know how to explain it in English. So from P11 to P15, they drop out of Q something. They're not able to go into Q3. That's how it works. So yeah, Grimjaw just had a very fast lap. Well, start of the lap in sector 1, but he didn't finish his lap because right now he missed his braking point. I think he missed his braking point and lost a little bit of traction, and it wasn't able to continue his lap. Well, he is able to continue his lap, but I mean, you see, he is already 1 minute and 10 seconds further, and he's not even in sector 3. So Top Dog just put in a third fastest lap, great lap from the Mercedes driver, as he is securing himself in Q3. Phantom also puts in a lap, and Jean, I mean, I'm not quite sure what's up with Jean, because he is still in the pits and he's coming out right now, I think. No, he's not. He is actually. So yeah, he's only got 1 or 2 laps to set a good result in, and I think he should be able to place himself in the top 5 because he's quite a fast driver, and he has some great pace on the soft tires, especially here around Japan. We saw him put in a top 3 position earlier. And right now he is just warming up his tires, you know, and make sure there's a lot of heat. And I'm quite curious about how much tire pressure the drivers have on their cars, because here's the thing: I did the race on Friday, and I was way faster with low tire temperatures, well, tire pressures, because the temperatures were quite low, and it's better through the corners. Because if you have high temperatures, especially here in Japan, with 110 degrees, it's not really beneficial, is it? As you will have a sliding car around the corners, and especially in sector 1, it's quite important to have a lot of grip on your car whenever you are racing. I'll have to sneeze another time, so I will be back in a second. All right, guys, we're back at it, and Shaw is just starting his lap, so we're gonna have a closer look at what he's gonna be able to perform, as we want to see his POV to maybe analyze the track a little bit. You can go quite early on the traction here, as you are able to touch the curbs there in second or third corner, and then you are better to not really touch the curbs, as he's going quite close there on that curb, really getting in some good traction, as this is a corner where you have to take a lot of curb on the inside there, which he really doesn't. And I think you will have a lot of traction here touching that wall. You can also get spun out by that corner there. And I said wall, you actually have to touch the corner, not really the wall, obviously. As it doesn't seem like he has great lap gear. He's not really touching too much curbs. And the traction doesn't seem too great either in sector 2 and sector 3, as he's touching the curb right there. Quite a dangerous curb to touch, as you will get spun out 1 out of 4 times, so 25%. Right now going into sector 3, having quite a bit of well, I'm not gonna say advantage, but he is setting in the lap quite late, which is your track is quite hot then. That's more valuable for your car, as he's come across the line with a 131.1, and he was only a few seconds off to put in another lap, and he isn't gonna be able to put in another lap, so he is out of Q2, out of Q3. I'm not sure how to say it, guys. Should I say he's out of Q2 or is he's out of Q3? Because I mean, he's going into Q3, but he's out of Q2, you know. So yeah, quite a few drivers have still put in the lap. I think Bob is still in the lap, and I think he has to improve, because otherwise he's out of the Q3, and he's out of top 10. So that's not really great to see, of course. Let's have a look. He's locking up here. I think he's running no anti-lock brakes, as I think that there's a little glitch with the shifting. That's always the case with the F1 game, and he's not really touching too much curb there, and I think that might cost him a little bit of time. As I said, you better be a little secure about which curbs you touch and which you don't, as you will have that insecurity too in the race, of course. Okay, so it's able to, yeah, you're able to say both. I mean, so Bob right now. Whoa, amazing lap from Bob, coming in clutch with a 129.7, and SSL Mango just, well, I mean, not just, but he has still got the fastest lap, and he really has that qualifying pace. And I mean, he is very fast in qualifying, but his race pace is so off the pace of everyone. Phantom, we saw Travis, we saw Top Dog, who were really keeping their car on track. And I mean, Mango is someone, I think, who spends a lot of time in time trial, but that's not really a great way to practice, because obviously you're just gonna push yourself to put in the great lap, and it doesn't really matter if you spin or not. And that's one of the main reasons why I think he's not got that race pace. He does have the quali pace, because that's a 1 lap race, but I think he might have a little bit of a, I'm not going to say concentration problems, but he's not able to keep the concentration on track for 28 laps, which we will see later on. Let's have a look how many laps there is going to be. 27 laps. 27 laps around this track is quite hard, because especially in sector 1 you need a lot of concentration, because especially when you drive with a wheel, You have to be very precise on which curbs you're gonna take and which you're not, as we're gonna see the end of Q2 right now. And we saw quite a few people dropping out, as we see right now. Matt Travis in 5th place. So yeah, let's discuss who dropped out of Q2. And it's gonna be Not Shumi, Super D, Thiago Maestro, Jean, quite a bit of a surprise, and Burn It Down in the AlphaTauri. So yeah, the AlphaTauri the AlphaTauri supporters, it's not looking good for you guys. But I mean, they can still come back in the race, you know. Nice Bob. Obviously, Bob with the P4 to secure the Q3 position. And let's have a look what is going to be in Q3, because obviously there's still going to be lots to talk about during Q3 and the race. Because I'm gonna talk a little bit about the strategy already, because we might not have time to do that later, as it's still gonna be everyone on outlap. So yeah, Suzuka possible strategies. I mean, in my opinion, the soft tire is the fastest on this track, but it just degrades so fastly. So that's why I suggest either a soft medium medium or a soft medium soft medium soft strategy, just to make sure they're. I mean, Suzuka is quite an interesting track for safety cars. And there's usually in the first few laps a safety car, and the last few laps too. So that's why I suggest the soft medium soft strategy with the safety cars in calculation. If you don't think there's going to be any safety car, or you do think there's going to be a safety car, but more through the middle, I suggest you go for a medium hard strategy, as that will be, you know, the safest option. If you're going to have a safety car at the first few laps, you can just stick out on your mediums and pits onto hard tires, because all the medium tires have gone for well, no, all the soft tires who made the pit stop have gone to hard tires, and at the end of the race you will have fresher hard tires because you've stayed longer on those medium stints, that first stint. So yeah, yeah, as I said, early safety car, soft hard strategy. There's gonna be a little bit of a discussion on which one is better. Is it gonna be the medium hard, or is it gonna be the soft hard? You know, it's up for discussion. If you're better with tire management, just take the soft hard strategy, or the soft. I mean, soft medium is not really possible. Then you just have to do the soft medium soft strategy. But if you're a little bit weaker with strategy, well, with strategy, I wouldn't call it strategy, but with your tire management and just the heat in your car, just go for a medium hard strategy, because especially with the soft tires, if you're quite a long time on these soft tires, they will heat up quite heavily. Then you might be able to lose a little bit of traction. Thanks very much, Puna. So yeah, let's have a look at the qualifying, as it's going to be Q3 for the night here on Suzuka. Quite obviously, we've been racing on this track for almost half an hour already, maybe even an hour. We're getting close to an hour, so it's always a little well. I mean, the qualifying is taking longer than the race, and I quite like that, you know. But some people are not really able to spend that much time on the track because they lose concentration or whatever, and especially drivers like Mango, who put in their concentration quite heavily into the qualifying. They're not well, their concentration is empty in the actual race. So let's have a look at Arno, as he is just done with sector 1. Unfortunately, we want to have a look at how he is taking the corners, because every driver is taking those corners differently, and he just put in the fastest first sector, and it seems like the McLaren driver right behind him has not beat that. Let's have a look. Maybe the Ferrari driver was able to beat it. Let's take a quick look later, as it seems like Arno is really showing some great pace. He's a Division 2 driver, but yeah, he's really setting a good statement here in the Premier Division race, as we are seeing another fan for McLaren. So yeah, quite a bit of McLaren fans here in the stream, as the McLaren driver is right behind the Alfa Romeo driver. So maybe he's trying to make him nervous a little bit by driving so close. I mean, he's still a few meters off, as it seems like the Alfa Romeo driver has just put in the fastest second sector, but I think the McLaren driver has beaten that, as it's going to be a big surprise who's going to come out on top here, because both drivers are really having a great lap. And let's take a look. I think Arno should get a little bit closer to that inside curb, which I think the McLaren driver does a little bit better. And they're only differenced by 400s. So that's going to give some great sparks during the actual race, as we are seeing the Ferrari driver just putting in a lap. It's going to be Bob. He had a great clutch at the end of Q2 to make sure he was in Q3. But it doesn't seem like he's able to compete with the top two right now. He's a few tenths off. Matrav 129.5, and I think if Matrav or Travis is going to be able to put in a 129.5, and I think Mango might be able to get in a 128. Let's have a look. Phantom, who just left the session, so I think he should be able to join back, as he just lost connection, and that's quite unfortunate. Mango with the fastest second sector, and let's have a look if how he takes this corner. I don't think he has anti-lock brakes on, because he was sliding a bit through that corner, and he's taking this was what I was talking about. He's taking this corner quite beautifully, a 129.3. So he didn't really succeed to get in a 128, but we might see that later on, as all the drivers right now are putting in a 129, and that's actually great news, because that means that all these drivers are really close to each other. And I mean, the top 8 is within 7 maybe even, yeah, 7 tenths. And I mean, I've never seen that before in any league, that so much drivers were so close to each other, especially div 2 drivers. This driver here, Arno Kous, is a div 2 driver, and I mean, he's competing with the top guys here in the Premier Division, so maybe they should switch around the drivers. I mean, as we are seeing, I am Alonso right now into the second sector, going into the third sector on this longer straight. I think you don't have DRS here, but you do have ERS, especially with the F122 cars. Because I mean, I've driven that race earlier this Friday with the the F221 cars, and it was actually amazing to see a race like that. I mean, it was fun to compete with, and he has just put in the third fastest lap, and Phantom has joined back, so that's great news, as he still needs to put in a lap. So I do suggest to take your car immediately and go out for a lap already, as we are seeing some drivers coming out of the pits. Some guys, I mean, who are they from? I think they are from the Red Bull team. No, the Red Bull team is next to them. I'm not quite sure which team that is, but it's going to be the Red Bull driver who's just coming out, or is there going to be a Red Bull driver coming in? Not quite sure, but we're going to go straight to I'm Alonso. Maybe Bob, you know, Bob is on another lap, and I think he might be able to set a better lap in, as I just forgot to put in the table there at the right corner. Let's have a look if he's on another fast lap. Let's hope he is. He is coming into the pits, so that's definitely not going to be a fast lap, as all the drivers are in the pits right now except for the Aston Martin driver. But I don't think he's on a lap right now, because he is putting in a 110 when he's just crossing the first sector line, and I don't think that's a good sign. But he is going full throttle, and he has full ERS, so I think he saved his battery to put in another lap, so it might be a good sign for him, as he is nowhere near. Yeah, no, he's not going to be able to improve. I mean, he's just crossed the third sector line in a few seconds. There it is, and he is 23 seconds slower, so yeah, he's not going to be able to put in a better lap unless he has a rocket ship right behind his car, but that's not going to be the case, because we all want some fair cars, of course. Phantom is on a lap right now, but he's on an out lap, and you know what I think with Phantom, maybe he has to drive a little bit faster, because he might only be able to put in one lap, and if he's going a little bit faster through these corners, his tires are warmed up and he will be able to put in a second fast lap. Of course, if you take the energy, the ERS in calculation, you're not gonna have enough ERS to put, well, to consume 2 laps, especially on these long straights here. Not this one, but later in sector 2, sector 3, and especially on the start-finish straight, you're gonna have a long straight, which you're not really able to use 2 different laps of ERS in. So yeah, quite a few drivers on an out lap right now, and I think it's a McLaren driver and the Ferrari driver, as I'm gonna sneeze for another time. I've got a cold, quite annoying, but my apologies, guys. We'll be back in a few seconds. So yeah, Phantom right now, he's gonna come across this difficult chicane. And he's gonna start his lap, and it's quite important to have a great exit out of that chicane, because you will have so much speed on this main straight as he is coming across the first corner right now in a few seconds. Quite a difficult corner. We're gonna have a look at his POV, as this is gonna be one of the most important POVs we'll see today, because he hasn't put a lap in yet, and I mean, it's all gonna decide where he's gonna finish in the race. If he ends up in P10 after this qualifying session, he's not gonna be able to get into that top 3 position, in my opinion, only with a good strategy and maybe some luck. But especially with that much space on the grid, everyone is on the 129s from P9 to P1. And it's going to be very close and very difficult to overtake. So yeah, the Phantom really has to put in some great pressure here on himself. Good pressure is always good, because you perform a little bit better. That's what I had. On Friday I was second. P1 in the qualifying gets 4 points in that other league. Yeah, it was very important for me to get that P1 in qualifying, and I was able to beat my time with, I think it was 3/10, but my laps were 5 lap olds, so it was quite difficult. But yeah, let's take a quick look at Phantom, who is coming across this difficult sector right now. Let's have a look if he's taking that curb on the inside quite heavily. It seems like it. He's not really losing his car, and he's going to put in a 129.9, which will place him P8. Not a great result, as we will still see quite a few drivers crossing the line. Matt Travis, is he going to be able to put in a better lap? He's not. He's still going to be able to put in another lap though. As so is Phantom actually, and I'm not quite sure if he's gonna try it, because he doesn't have any battery left, and I don't think it's really worth it, because he's secured the P8 already, and he's up by 2/10 in the first sector, so that's great. But he doesn't really have any ERS left for these long straights here later on. So I mean, ooh, Bob right now, second place, 129.4. Absolutely amazing lap by the Ferrari driver, and it's gonna be qualifying over. So all the drivers who are crossing the start-finish line right now are gonna have a finished lap, and it's gonna be Arno Gauss right now coming across the line with a 129.8. So he's gonna improve by a little bit, but it's not gonna be enough to place him in the top 3. I'm Alonso right now coming across the line with a 129.4, and we might see a little bit of a difference here. Nadim, who's just put him in P5, Grimjaw, who's just put himself in P6, and now it's going to be depending on where Zivan is going to place himself. He was 1.3 seconds off, so he's not going to put in a better lap. And maybe Top Dog, he is 2.4 tenths up, 3.6 tenths up. So if that's going to be the case, he's going to place himself in P8, maybe even P7. So yeah, let's take a quick look if he is having... Ooh, Matraf right now, 129.1. So we're not getting close. Well, we're getting quite close to that 128, but it's not going to be for today. Only if Mango is going to put a better lap in. Top Dog just placed himself in P1, and SSL Mango is coming into the pits, and I think he lost his car there at the exit of that chicane, and Bob is going to be the only driver still on the lap, but he's 13 seconds off. So that's going to be your Q3 results, with Matt Travis in P1, SSL Mango in P2, and we are seeing I Am Alonso to finish the podium. So yeah, congratulations to those guys, as there's still gonna be a lot to talk about during the actual race here around Suzuka. Let's give you a little bit more information about the track. In my opinion, the best overtaking opportunities are going to happen in turn 1, turn 2, and turn 11. Turn 1 and 2, yeah, quite obvious why. You can brake quite lately because a lot of drivers, if you're going side by side, this is a small tip which I noticed myself in the stream. If you're going side by side into turn 1, quite a lot of drivers tend to brake quite early to avoid any crashes, and you just can benefit out of that and be able to, well, brake later and just overtake them. You will have a better line too. Let's have a quick look at the standings here, and then I'll switch back to the track information. It's going to be Matt Travis P1, SSL Mango P2, I'm Alonso P3, and then we got P4 till P10, Bob, Dog Dog, Nadim, Grimjaw, Zivan, Arno, and to finish the top 10 is gonna be Phantom. So he still has a lot to improve, as I think it's gonna be quite difficult, but all these drivers are within 7/10, which is quite crazy. As we're gonna get back to the track information. I mean, it's Japan, you know, quite a big country, 26 million inhabitants, and that's quite a big difference compared to Belgium, where I'm stated at the moment. Yeah, I mean, Monaco is a country with, I mean, how much do you have? 70,000 inhabitants, and they also have a Grand Prix. So it's quite obvious that a country like Japan, especially with Honda being the engine suppliers of Red Bull, are having a home track, and that's great to see. So yeah, 27 laps. It's quite a long race, because it's, how much is it for a lap? I think it's around 132 for one lap. Yeah, 27 laps. That's quite a long race, but it doesn't really matter because we will see some great close to close battles, and it might be difficult to overtake here on this racing track, but it's even better because all these drivers will be a little closer to each other, and that's always nice to see. Schumacher, the most race wins, and yeah, congratulations to him. As we will see a little bit of a strategy discussion at the moment. So in my opinion, it's going to be a soft, medium, soft strategy, especially here on Japan. A racetrack where you have a lot of possible safety cars because of the curbs in the close racing. And yeah, that's just the best decision in my opinion. If you like a little more safer strategy, try to go for a medium hard strategy, as you will have more traction on these mediums at the end of their stint compared to the soft hard strategy, which I am suggesting with an early safety car. But yeah, obviously medium tires going to last longer than the soft tires, and especially when you go from medium hard, those hard tires will be a little fresher at the end of their stint too. You will be able to battle a little bit more compared to your soft hard strategy. Well, the thing is, you can also run a medium hard strategy, and when there is a safety car, go to hard tires too, but then there isn't really a purpose of starting off mediums, especially with a start like here. You will have to have a great start into turn 1, and that's going to be better with the soft tires compared, well, than with the medium tires, of course. So a little bit of the standings right now. Maybe I can talk about the constructors during a safety car situation or something. Driver standings. P1 is going to be for Phantom. P2 is going to be for Matt Travis. And P3 is going to be for Grimjaw. And we're seeing Mango down at the bottom in P10 with 0 points, as he had the fastest qualifying lap in the Singapore Grand Prix, but he didn't manage to keep his car on track. And it's going to be looking out for... let's have a look who else is on a great spirit at the moment. It's going to be Top Dog. And he's qualified in P5 too, so that's great. Maybe we can have a little more discussion about the constructors, because here's the special thing about this league. They're combining constructors, so we're seeing that Red Bull has the most points at the moment, so they're doing an amazing job with the constructors. Mercedes is also doing an amazing job, and then we're seeing Haas in P3. Maybe McLaren is going to do a great job too, because I mean Haas and McLaren are tied on points. Then we're seeing AlphaTauri in 5th. Scuderia Ferrari in P7, P6, my apologies. Wait, am I messing up the numbers? I mean, AlphaTauri was in P5, Scuderia Ferrari in P6, Alfa Romeo in P7, Aston Martin down the bottom in P9 with only 4 points, and William haven't scored a single point yet, so that's not really amazing to see, as the drivers are going to line themselves up for the Suzuka Grand Prix, as we want to have all the information at the moment, which we are able to use. And all the drivers are actually going to be... Oh, I'm not sure what happened to Mango there, but he crashed into the wall, as we are seeing the Ferrari driver doing some amazing tricks there. So yeah, all the drivers have to line up their car perfectly to have a great start, and Bob wasn't really going to be able to do that, so he will be dropped back a little bit from his starting position. So does I'm Alonso, so does Arno Gauss, and we will see quite a few drivers still doing this, and I'm not quite sure we've seen this happening multiple times, and these drivers are not really paying attention if it happens to them, because it's not really a difficult mechanic and you want to be as close to the line as possible. But I mean, is it really worth it to lose a couple of tenths? So it's going to be lights out, and away we go here for the Japan Grand Prix, and we are seeing a great start from Matraf, and maybe the Aston Martin is going to make a move around the outside. The Mercedes driver there on the outside of the McLaren driver, the Aston Martin driver is going too fast right now. Oh my god, Matt Travis has lost a few positions. I'm not sure what happened there. Bob has gained a few positions, and it's going to be SSL Mango with a great start. Bob within a few tenths of SSL Mango. It's going to be I'm Alonso in P3, and the Red Bull driver already almost made a move there on the outside, but it didn't really work for him. Top Dog had a great start, but I'm not sure what happened to him after that. And it's going to be Nadim making a move on the outside of the Mercedes driver. It's not going to be enough, so he's going to back out of that move. Grimjaw right now. A few moves here from the Ferrari driver, who didn't really have a great qualifying. He made the move work on Zvam. Phantom, he dropped down a little bit of positions. He was in P10, and right now he is in P12, so that's not really great. We are seeing Sims, who is defending from Burn It Down. We're gonna get straight back to the top 4, because we're seeing that Matrav is trying to set himself up to make a move on I'm Alonso on the main straight. If he has a great exit out of this corner, is he gonna be able to make it? He has the slipstream though, and he's using all of his DRS already, and I don't think it's gonna be possible. So you really need the DRS on the start finish straight to be able to overtake someone, and it's gonna be Haas time. So someone, they're in P7, they're in P9, so scoring some good points for the team, as it seems like Arno Graus just made a move on the Haas driver, and someone spun out already. Unfortunately, it's gonna be the AlphaTauri driver. Burn It Down. Super D is gonna make the move. 3 wide into turn 1. 3 wide. He's... Oh my days. Oh, and the Haas driver well, sandwiches him a little bit, but Super D manages to get on top of one of the drivers. And is it gonna be enough? It doesn't seem like it, and he is still sandwiched between these two Haas drivers. Is Super D gonna come out on top of these two drivers? I don't think it's gonna be, because Grimjaw is an excellent defender. And I mean, it's very exciting here around Suzuka with both Alfa Romeos behind each other, and it seems like Nadim didn't really have a great exit out of that corner, and now Arno Gauss is a little bit of a bad position, because he's got his teammate right in front of him who is leaving a little bit of space. So I'm not sure if they're going side by side. It doesn't seem like this. Let's have a look. Grimjaw, is he gonna make the move? I don't think he is. Super D is coming a little bit closer. Is it gonna be enough? We're still seeing an AlphaTauri driver in sector 1. That might be a little dangerous, and I hope he's not gonna DNF on track, because that means there's gonna be a safety car. Let's have a look at Bob. He is still in P2. I'm Alonso in P3. Matt Travis in P4, and he is not getting really closer to the Aston Martin driver, and that's really remarkable, because he was the fastest in qualifying. But I mean, he is not really showing some great pace here in the race, and it seems like Mango is really showing some great pace. Let's have a look at the tires right now. All the drivers are on medium tires, except for the last 2 drivers, who are on hard tires. And there's another battle here between... Ooh, Phantom is really losing some positions. I think he is having troubles keeping his car on track. And I'm not quite sure what he is doing right now, but he's not having the race of his life. He's really losing some positions, and that's not really great for the Red Bull team because they're first in the standings. And I mean, if they're not going to score some great points, Ferrari might come close, Aston Martin might come close, even Mercedes, who are quite close, are getting closer. I mean, Matt Travis still has to prove something here on track in Suzuka. He had the best quality record. Well, he had the best quality lap, but he's not showing that here in this race. SSL Mango, who is keeping his team proud with their possible first points of the season. Let's get back here. Grimjaw, who is still in front of Super D. Super D still sandwiched within those two Haas drivers, but I think not Shubi is having a little bit of trouble with Zivan right behind him. Let's have a look. Is there someone behind? It doesn't look like it. Let's have a look what Zivan can do. He has to have a great traction coming out of this chicane. Is it going to be that case? It seems like it. He has some great traction. Is he going to have DRS? It seems like he has DRS. Is it going to be enough? He has the ERS. He has the DRS. Is he going to use it all? He is actually going to use it all. But it's not going to be enough because Not Show Me has the DRS too. Bob has lost it. Bob has lost it. He was there on the side of the track. Let's have a look if you can take a quick look. There he is on the left side of the track. And he has lost it. And I think that's going to be a safety car for you guys. Very unfortunate. But Bob, he was showing some great pace, and I mean, he disappointed me a little bit because of that crash. We didn't see it happen, but what a race this is already, guys. It's only lap 4 and we're seeing some close racing already. SSL Mango, Bob, who is getting quite close and comfortable in his P2. He was getting closer to Mango. He was driving away from I'm Alonso, and I'm Alonso, who is 2 seconds right behind Mango right now. Matt Travis, who also had some great pace. Well, gained 1 position because of that. Yeah, I mean, it's really close here, guys. We're seeing a lot of drivers who are within 1 second. Obviously, it's safety car conditions, but they were still doing this during the actual race without a safety car, and it's absolutely amazing. So, a little break because this was a little bit exciting, guys. We were seeing a lot of overtakes, and I'm gonna take a little sip from my water because my mouth is so dry from yelling all these overtakes and beautiful things on track. Maybe it's even time to talk about the sponsor. Oh wait, we're coming back to the sponsor. We're gonna look at the position changes first, because it seems like Matrav has come into the pits for new tires, and I'm excited to see what tire he will go on. I think he's gone on to the hard tires, as he's gonna try and finish the race on these compounds, and it seems like he did go on to hard tires. So he's the only driver who went on to new set of tires. As we're coming back to the sponsor, Auto Magneto, who is the official sponsor of the Full Throttle F1 Racing League. Yeah, like I said already, they are a wholesaler and a retail seller of auto parts within the whole region of Africa. So yeah, if you're interested in some auto parts, car parts, doesn't really matter how you explain the term. It's an auto in Afrikaans, I think, and then you got car in English term. If you're excited to buy some parts, make sure to check out this sponsor, because they got a lot of parts, as you can see on the right side of your screen. Let's get a quick look. I think they got a sort of I think they got lights. I'm not sure. I'm trying to get a little closer look, as I'm not really able to read my screen. Let's have a quick look. They got tracking systems, guys. That's quite cool. Emergency lamps too. If your emergency lamps are broken, you can just go to this Auto Magneto website and just order some. I mean, it's quite cool. Lightning auto wires. They got flashes and relays, switchers and buttons, workshop equipment and tools. That's quite cool. Trailer spares and accessories. and they got multiple things. So if you're interested to buying some things, make sure to check these guys out, as it's quite important. Well, for the sponsor to have a little bit of interaction with racing drivers, because obviously we are excited about cars. I mean, I think every F1 racer is really into cars and all that stuff. So yeah, if you're losing some components, make sure to check these guys out. As we're going back into the race, and it seems like Mango is really driving a little bit dangerous, as I'm going to take a little break, and I will be right back with you guys in a few seconds. Alright guys, it's time to get some chips. It's time to get some cookies, maybe a little Coke on the side. I mean Coca-Cola, not the other term. But yeah, Coca-Cola, some water, some healthy stuff, some chips, some cookies, some... what else can you drink? Some iced tea. I'm not sure what you guys have in home, but make sure to get some snacks, because we are going to see some great racing here in the wait, what is it? Full Throttle Racing League. As the safety car is probably coming in right now, because we are already 3 laps on, well, behind the safety car. As I'm really excited, because Mango is gonna have an exciting start, and he's gonna have I Am Alonso right behind him. And I think he's gonna start quite... wait, the safety car is not coming in? The safety car is not coming in, guys. Is there a glitch going on? Nadim is coming into the pits. Is there a glitch? Because there has been an update recently with the safety car, so I think there's a little glitch. So I'm going to try and speak to the admin team about it. I will be right with you in a second. Alright, so it's still gonna be Mango P1. Unfortunate result for Bob, who dropped back to P17 with a DNF, and Phantom has left the session. Not quite sure what's happening to him. He might have a little bit of bad internet connection. You know, I think this is the problem. Phantom is all the way... well, it shows that he's all the way back, but he really isn't all the way back, and I think that's causing the safety car to stay out. So I'm not sure what they're gonna decide with the admin team, but it's still up to discussion, as we are gonna talk a little bit more about... what are we gonna talk about, guys? You guys got any ideas? I sure got an idea. We might talk about the calendar. You know, we've talked about that during qualifying, but it seems like it's another good moment to talk about the calendar. So yeah, right now we're doing the Japan Grand Prix, race 2 of the season. It's the Premier Division here on Tuesdays, and it's gonna be Bahrain next season, so that's great. race, next season, what am I saying? Next race, it's going to be Bahrain. So that's something to look out for. And then it's going to be Coda. And, you know, Coda is quite an interesting race. Because you don't see many league races there. It's quite dangerous to make moves everywhere into Coda, especially with your tire temperatures and stuff. Then we got Mexico, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, Abu Dhabi, and then we got Portugal, Imola, and China to finish off the season. Yeah, very interesting calendar. I think they're following the actual F1 calendar, and then just Portugal, Imola, and China at the end of the season, at the end of the things. And I think the safety car is coming in right now because Mango is slowing down. He is slowing down. So yeah, the safety car is coming in right now. Let's have a look. Phantom joined back again. And when is he gonna start? Is I'm Alonso gonna get caught? He is a little bit. He lost a little bit of traction, so that's gonna be Mango is weaving quite heavily, so he might be able to report that the Aston Martin driver. Let's have a look. Top Dog, not really in any position to make a move. Maybe Grimjaw and Arnold Gauss, who is having a great race, a Division 2 driver. And we're seeing a few battles here. Schumi, who has lost the position to Sims, and the Mercedes drivers are really trying to get back. Thiago Maestro right now. What is this going to be? Is he going to make... and Thiago Maestro just... my apologies, guys. I forgot to switch. Thank you very much, Martin. Yeah, it's going to be Thiago Maestro who just tapped out Jean. So yeah, that's very unfortunate. Jean... I mean... We're seeing Arno Gauss, who just lost his car on track, so he is DNF'd. Burned it down, is a few minutes behind. And it's gonna be Zardi. Zardi with the first penalty, so yeah. Let's get back to Super D. 4 tenths behind. Grimjaw 2 tenths behind. And is he gonna be able to make the move on Top Dog? Top Dog is showing some great pace, and he's getting really close to I Am Alonso. I don't think it's gonna be enough, but Grimjaw might be able to get close. You know, it's gonna be not the DRS yet on the start finish straight, but it's gonna take a few laps before the drivers will get that DRS. He is 2 tenths behind, 4 tenths after that chicane. It's not gonna be enough. Maybe Super D, because he has been behind this Haas for already 9 laps, and he's really got something to prove, because he didn't have a great qualifying, as we want to have a look at where everyone was qualified, and he's already gained 7 positions. Sims behind him has gained 11, so I would argue he is the driver of the day at the moment. But Super D right now, 7 positions gained, as he is getting very close to Grimjaw. Let's get back to the back of the grid, as we are seeing Matrav, who is on new laps, new tires, and I mean, he is all the way back in 11th. He has gained a few places from Fandom, Nadim, I think Jean, because he got spun out. But I mean, is he gonna get back? That's gonna be the question, because behind all these slower drivers, I mean, I wouldn't call them slower, but behind this, yeah, I'm gonna call them slower because they're all the way in P10. He's gonna lose a little bit of position, of time, and here P1, he's just got free air, and he is really able to push those mediums till the limit. And then when he comes back on track for new tires, he might be able to get in front of Matrav, and he will also have fresher tires. So yeah, that's gonna be something to look out for. Grimjaw, is it gonna be enough? Grimjaw is making the move on Top Dog into the chicane. It's not gonna be enough. Maybe if he has good traction out of this corner. He doesn't have the DRS yet, but he has ERS. And is he gonna make the move on the inside of turn 1? It seems like the Mercedes driver has better traction. Zardi, who's coming into the pits with a spin. I think he had a little spin there coming out of that chicane. So right now we're gonna see the POV of Grimjaw. He is having some great lines to really try and do the switchback on Grimjaw, but it's not going to be enough, because Grimjaw is keeping his car on the line. He is showing some great traction on his car, and maybe Grimjaw right now, is it going to be enough? The drivers are really scared to take that inner curve there on the inside of well, going into sector 2. Let's have a look. Someone crashed out. It's gonna be Zivan. Very unfortunate for the McLaren driver, but we're gonna get back to P4 here, as there is a little bit of DRS train here from P3 till P6. And Sims is quite close to Super D right now. Is it gonna be enough? Let's take a look. They don't have DRS here, but if they're gonna use ERS on this longer straight, you might see an overtake from one of these guys, because a lot of guys will have slipstream. Top Dog is, well, definitely far away from Grimjaw 410, so he's not going to be able to make the overtake work. Super D neither. And Nadim just made the move work on the AlphaTauri driver as he's coming back on the racing line, and he made the move work, so that's beautiful from the Alfa Romeo driver. And Matrav is already back up to P8, and he's coming quite close to Shumi right now, so we might see a little overtake from him in a few laps. Let's have a look. They have DRS, and is he gonna dive home in the first corner? It isn't gonna happen. Maybe in the second corner. It is not going to happen either. And it seems like I Am Alonso is having a little battle with Mango right now. Mango, who is showing better pace than last race in Singapore, where he DNF'd. Unfortunately, we're going to get back to Grimjaw, who is having some great pressure onto the Mercedes driver at the moment. And there's a yellow flag in sector 1, and it seems like that's going to be Zivan. Very unfortunate for him, but his race is over. Grimjaw right now. Even ooh, the Ferrari driver. Is it gonna be enough? It is not gonna be enough, but maybe here on the main straight, if he has wait, that's a couple of corners later. The Mercedes driver is right on his tail. Is he gonna make a move on the inside? It's not gonna be enough, because I mean, if you go a little bit well, if you change directions a little bit, you're gonna lose a lot of pace, and that's not gonna be good. But he has great traction coming out of that corner. He's gonna use all of his ERS. Is it gonna be enough? He has the slipstream. Is he gonna make the move on the inside? It's not gonna be enough. So he's gonna just sit behind him and wait for that DRS, as we are seeing him defend the outside of that curb. And the Mercedes driver is going a little bit wide, so he's not gonna have great traction coming out of that corner. And now we're having a better look at the Haas driver, because he has the DRS, he has the ERS, and he's gonna try to make a move work on the outside of a Mercedes driver, and maybe even Super D is gonna make the move work. It is actually not gonna work, but Grimshaw just secured P3 with the Mercedes driver right behind him, and Super D is gonna try to make the move on the inside, but it's not gonna happen. Sims is getting quite close to Super D. And it seems like Jean is showing some great pace too. I mean, he is in P12, but he's getting really close to Phantom and keeping up with him. And I think that's a great key to coming back. Even if there's gonna be a safety car, those drivers might be able to get a few positions back. Let's have a look at Super D. Grimjaw is already out of the second, and there's a yellow flag in sector 1. It's gonna be Thiago Maestro, who might have lost his car on the curbs. So Top Dog is out of that second. He's switching around within the second, outside the second, and this is gonna be enough in sector 1 to have the DRS. We don't know. We're gonna see what happens in the sector 2 and sector 3. Super D right now, he is quite close to Top Dog, and if Top Dog doesn't have DRS on Grimjaw, he's gonna be losing another position, I'm quite sure. But I mean, Super D does have to have a great exit coming out of that chicane, and he's maybe gonna make the move already here, and it doesn't seem like it. He is a little bit sandwiched between the Mercedes drivers, and it seems like Sims is coming in. He has the DRS. He has the ERS. Is he going to make the move on the inside? It seems like it. Is it going to be enough? He has passed, so that's great for the Ferrari driver, who just won a position. So now he has to get back to Grimshaw, who is 1 second behind I Am Alonso. And I think the two drivers right in front of him are battling too. What a race this is, guys. I Am Alonso within 5/10 of Mango, and it seems like Mango is really keeping up with the pressure at the moment. He's still in P1. He has the medium tires selected, and he might go onto the hard tires in a few laps, because those medium tires are far from good at the moment. Grimjaw is within 1 second. Super D might be able to get into that second, but it's gonna be exciting. I mean, it's gonna be close, you know. Maybe not in this lap, but after a couple of laps, I think Super D might be able to get into that DRS from the top 3, because they might battle quite harsh as we're coming across the long straight in sector 2 and 3. You know what the thing is? We're seeing his POV right now. I'm gonna lower down the volume a little bit. This corner, if you're not touching the curb there on the F2 cars, you're not gonna win a lot of time. And it seems like on the F1 cars, you don't really have to touch the curb there, as Mango is coming into the pits. So is Grimjaw. So it's gonna be I am Alonso for P1, Super D for P2, and Mango, who is probably going on to the hard tires. And it seems like Matraf is back in the game. He is in P3 right now on his hard tires. Nadim in P4. He hasn't pitted yet, I think. Or maybe he's on the hard tires. He made a pit stop quite early then. SSL Mango coming out back again. Thiago Maestro in P5, SSL Mango in P7, Phantom in P6. So Phantom, it's really important that Phantom is right in front of Mango, because he can hold him back to make sure that Matt Raff is going away with the points that he needs. And yeah, making sure that Mango is really losing some time behind the other Red Bull driver. I'm Alonso right now, secure of that P1 position, but for how long? That's going to be the question, because Super D is coming in quite fast, and these two still have to make a pit stop as they're both on the medium tires still. And maybe, I mean, here's the thing. If these drivers are going to stay a couple of more laps on the medium tires, they might be able to go onto soft tires. But that's a very big risk, you know. That's a very big risk. So yeah, Matref right now 3.5 seconds. He's coming a little bit closer, but those hard tires are really gonna try. Well, they're not gonna be great at the end of the laps. And then SSL Mango and Grimjaw are gonna have a little bit of a advantage compared to Matref, who is already a couple of laps on these tires. He's already 9 laps on these tires, and we see Thiago Maestro. He already made the pit stop work. He's 13 laps on these tires, and yeah, we're seeing Super D switching to hard tires. We're seeing I'm Alonso on hard tires. So yeah, that's gonna be something to look out for. Where are they gonna place themselves? Are they gonna be in front of Mango? Are they gonna be behind Mango? That's gonna be the question. Phantom just passed him. And it seems like Mango is not really going to be able to pass the Aston Martin driver. He is going to pass the Ferrari driver, so that's great to see. But yeah, Mango basically lost 1 position to the Aston Martin driver and a couple of positions to drivers in front, but that's not really in proportion. So yeah, Phantom right now, who is having the Aston Martin driver right behind him, and Mango, is he going to make the move here in Sector 1? It's quite difficult here. He is going to make the move. Are they going side by side? It doesn't look like it. Mango has really held back a little bit as he is trying to push the Aston Martin driver till his limits. And he's lost a little bit of time. Mango has lost the position to the Ferrari driver, to the Mercedes driver. Maybe, no, the Mercedes driver is leaving a lot of space between himself and the Williams driver. And it's not going to be enough to make the move work, as it seems like Grimjaw is going to try and make the move on Sims. Let's get back here at SSL Mango, because right now he's right behind the Ferrari driver. And is he gonna make the move here on the main straight? I don't think it's gonna happen. He's gonna wait for that DRS at the start finish straight to make a move into this, turn 1, because obviously that's the most important overtaking opportunity on this track. And once you have overtaken your opponent, you're really gonna try and how do I explain this? And try to get away in the first sector, because it's such a difficult sector. You're really able to gain a lot of time there, as it doesn't seem like it's gonna be the race of the McLaren drivers, because they're currently P12 and one is DNF, so they are not going to be able to score some great points. And Mercedes was looking good at the middle of the race, but it doesn't seem like that's happening at the moment. And it seems like Mango didn't really have a great exit coming out of that last chicane, because he is still right behind Super D and he doesn't have the DRS. You might see an overtake here from Sims on Mango, because he's 4 tenths behind, but he's losing a little bit of time, so it's not really gonna happen. And let's get back here to Phantom, who is really putting on the pressure for Thiago Maestro. He was outside the second a few laps ago, and right now he's back at a few seconds behind, so I'm not really sure what's happening to him, because he has the faster tire. But he might try. I mean, I'm not sure what's happening. Is he losing some pace to slow down to make sure he's keeping Aim Alonso a little bit back for Matt Travis, or what's going to be the thought behind that? Super D right now, 8 tenths behind Aim Alonso. It's not going to be enough to overtake him into turn one. He has the DRS, but he might have to wait a couple of laps more. Sims right now, right behind Mango, and Mango doesn't really have a great exit coming out of that corner, and it didn't really seem like that happened either previous lap, but it does seem like he has the DRS, and Sims is going to try to go for a move on the inside. Mango has the better traction on the main straight, and he's keeping his car in front of the Mercedes driver, so that's great to see. Super D getting a little bit closer to the Aston Martin driver. Maybe Grimjaw here, who is right behind Sims. Top Dog is really losing some pace, and he's got Not Shumi right behind him. He has the penalty, very unfortunate, but he might be able to get in front of Top Dog and be able to drive away for 3 seconds. That's going to be the question, because currently it doesn't look very good for points. For the Haas team, as they are only scoring points at the moment with Grimjaw and Top Dog. Sims, that's a great combination, but they're not really able to put some great scores on the board. They're P8 and P10 right now, which would be a total of, I think, 5 points, 6 points if they're scoring the fastest lap, but it doesn't look like that. As we're gonna get back to SSL Mango, Sims, Super D, that little battle here. Maybe I am Alonso. He is really keeping it up, his pace, to be able to keep these cars behind, as he's weaving a little bit. And here's the thing, Mango was weaving quite heavily after that safety car restart, and I think I'm Alonso is going to try and report him, because that's a very important thing to do here on Suzuka. Everyone is quite close at the end of the race, and if you're going to get a 5-second or a 3-second penalty, you're definitely going to lose it, well, drop a couple of positions when someone reports you for weaving. So if you're I'm Alonso's teammate, make sure to go back to the stream with the safety car restart. You saw that Mango was weaving quite heavily. So yeah, if you want to report him, make sure to do that. I'm not sure if that's allowed for me to say, but just saying, Super D right behind I'm Alonso. Mango 4 tenths behind. 4 tenths. He's coming a little bit closer. He's losing a little bit of time every now and then, but then he's gonna come back. And I mean, it's gonna be depending on how he takes that third sector chicane, because if he's keeping on driving bad in sector 3, he's not really gonna be able to overtake anyone on the main straight. And that's gonna be important for him to improve and try to get a better exit out of that corner, because you have the DRS, and I mean, if you're losing some pace there, you're not gonna have the straight line speed, or you're not gonna be able to overtake anyone, because the driver in front of you has the DRS too, and that's gonna be Super D, who has the DRS on I'm Alonso. And if he doesn't have a great exit either, it's still going to be I'm Alonso in P5, Super D in P6, Mango in P7, Sims in P8, Grimjaw in P9, and Top Dog in P10. And those guys are still going to battle with each other. Top Dog is going to battle with Not Shumi, but that's important for the points, I'm Alonso is weaving a little bit too, as that was a dangerous move too. Super D is waving a little bit too. I'm not quite sure what the rules are on that pace of the penalties, but I mean, I'm quite sure you're only able to move from your place one time and go back to it one time. And it seemed like a couple of guys are doing that quite excessively here on this track. Super D right now, still 5 tenths behind, and it's not looking like someone is going to be making a move in the next few laps. And they're just keeping it behind the other car right in front of him. We're seeing this beautiful shot from Grimjaw, who is right behind Sims. And Sims, I think he has ABS locked off, and that means he has to brake a little bit different than people who have ABS on. But I'm still not sure what's faster for me. The what's it called? The ABS on is a little bit more easy, but the sooner you get used to ABS off, sooner it's getting better, you know, the sooner you're really improving. That's what racing is all about. Just improve, practice, all that kind of stuff. It seems like Matraf at the beginning. Ooh, Phantom maybe making a move on Thiago. He's coming into the pits, and it seems like his tires were dropping off quite excessively. So yeah, Super D is making up a position. Ooh, he made the move work on I Am Alonso. That's quite great. He has the fourth position secured right now. Mango is not really able to get closer. But yeah, Super D, I was looking at the chat, and I was looking at Thiago Maestro, who was coming into the pits. But Matraf, he made a very early pit stop with around lap 5, I think it was, when there was a safety car going on, and he made the risk. And it seems like it has worked because he was the only driver who made the pit stop work. And he's 13 seconds in front of Nadim, who is on 13 lap old Hearts, who also made the pit stop during the safety car. And it seems like, no, I Am Alonso has lost his few positions because he's crashed, and I'm not sure what's happened between himself, Super D, or maybe Alonso. Alonso, what am I saying? Mango. So yeah, the Mercedes drivers are battling at the moment, and I'm hoping it's not going to be too much of a battle because they're still trying to get back to Grimjaw, who has lost the DRS on Mango. So it's only going to be Mango and Super D in a battle right now. And as we're furthering in the race, drivers are starting to fall off the DRS train, and it's only going to be Super D and Mango in the battle right now. And it seems like Super D has some great pace. Because he's trying to get away from that DRS from Mango right behind him. Mango, who has ABS off too, and he has a better traction here. I think he does actually. He has the DRS, he has the ERS. It's not going to be enough. I think he is too far back, Super D. And maybe we're going to see a move here from Sims, trying to make a move on the inside of his teammate. And are these two going to battle it out for P7? Let's have a look. It's really important that these two are not going to battle too much, because they got I Am Alonso right behind them, and Shumi too, as those two guys are still battling it out for P9. And it seems like Thiago has not really done a great job pitting for soft tires, because he is back at P11. He was at around P3, P4, but that seems to be substituted by Phantom, Super D, and Mango, who are showing some great pace here around Suzuka. It seems quite secure for Matrav at the moment. He is really losing some traction in some corners, especially with 16 lap old Hearts. And we see that Nadim is also really losing some pace on his 14 lap old Hearts. And that's maybe going to be something important for Super D to try to get back to that top 3 and really, how am I going to say this? Really try to get closer to be able to overtake maybe Phantom to get onto that podium. But he sure has to deal with Mango first, because as long as he's battling with Mango, he's not really going to be able to get closer to that top 3. 1.9, 1.8 seconds difference. We want to see how many time Phantom loses in the chicane. It's going to be 1 or 2 tenths. It's going to be 1 tenth. And that's really important to see on how hard these hard tires of Phantom are degrading, especially with 16 lap old Hearts. It's really going to be annoying to drive with such old tires, as it seems like he's dropping down to 1.6 seconds, and I think he's gonna have a overtaking probability of like 50 to 16%, depending on how long and how fast Phantom is gonna drive, because on this pace it looks like it's gonna happen in 3-4 races, but especially here on this track it's very difficult to overtake. I've only seen overtakes in the first corner, and that was because of DRS. So you really have to stick around behind someone for a whole lap, and then you're just trying to make an overtake into turn 1, as we're seeing Mango still struggling to try to keep his car on track, as it's going to be I Am Alonso right behind Top Dog. And Top Dog, it doesn't seem like he has DRS. It seems like I Am Alonso has the DRS, and so does Shumi. So I think there might be a double overtake happening on the main straight, with start-finish straight, with the DRS into turn 1. And it's going to be very important for Shumi to get a little bit closer to be able to benefit from that DRS, because it doesn't look too good right now. Matrav has just put in the fastest lap on 18 lap old Hearts, so he's really pushing the limit out of his car, out of his tires. And he shouldn't push too much, because I mean, the harder you push, the more your tires are going to degrade, and that's not really great. as I'm Alonso right now is making the move work on Top Dog. I think he made the move on the inside as they just lost DRS to Sims, who is 4 seconds behind Grimjaw. SSL Mango right now, right behind Super D, who is 1.4 seconds behind Phantom. There was a little bit of a ghosted car there. Thiago Maestro with a 131.6, and he's not going to be able to receive that point because obviously he's out of the top 10. SSL Mango at the moment. P5, is he going to be... Ooh, what's happening here? Phantom is losing a lot of pace, and I'm not sure what's happening. Wait, he just has bad internet. Oh, that's very unfortunate to see this happening. He's got a little bit of interesting internet connection, and that's really causing the other drivers to be a little I mean, this is very interesting, you know. Phantom really losing... Wait, I'm confused, guys. Oh no, no, no. Phantom, what are you doing? Oh no, this is really fucking up the lobby. Ah, that's so unfortunate for Phantom that he has a little bit of connection issues at these last few laps. And we're seeing Mango, who just left the session. His AI is driving at the moment, but what an ending this is. Not a fun time for Mango, as he was showing some great pace. He has put the time in to set a great lap in the qualifying, to set some great pace in the race, and his race is ruined a little bit. But yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, it is bad for Mango, but not really for the stream, as we are seeing Phantom back in P3. And it seems like it's almost secure for Matt Travis that he's gonna be P1 at the end of this race. Maybe Nadim in P2 and Phantom in P3. We might have to wait for Phantom and Super D if Super D is gonna get a little closer. I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. Grimjaw in P5 at the moment, Sims in P6, I'm Alonso in P7, not Shumi in P8. Top Dog, he's getting a little closer to Shumi, and here's the thing what he has to do. He just has to keep it right behind Shumi, because Shumi has that penalty. I'm gonna have a look at how big that penalty is, a 3-second penalty. And I mean, if he's just keeping it within those 3 seconds, he's gonna win one position for sure. I don't think he's going to get back to I Am Alonso. He's showing too big of a pace at the moment. Thiago Maestro has made the move done. No, he's not made the move done. SSL Mango has lost a few positions because of that crash. So let's get back to Super D, because he's 1 second behind Phantom. He has the DRS, and this is going to be your final few laps spectacle. Spectacular things happening right now. Super D 7/10 behind Phantom. It's gonna be enough, but is it gonna be enough to make the move? Because I mean, he might be able to get close, but it's still two or three laps, 2.5 laps. And if I'm gonna do the calculations, if he makes a move now, it's gonna be Phantom at the next lap, and then it's your final lap, and he's not gonna be able to make the move. So my suggestion for Super D is just keep it behind Phantom for this lap, and after lap 26 make sure to overtake him, because he's not going to be able to get back at you after lap 27, because then the race is over quite obviously. 8/10 right now, 7/10. It's not going to be enough to make the move already work. I'm Alonso has lost a little bit of pace, so Shumi is going to try and get back for a move on I'm Alonso. I mean, it's 1.2 seconds. It might be very close. Mango is coming into the pits, and I think it's going to be race over for him. Matt Travis right now losing a little bit of pace compared to Nadim, because they were 13 seconds. I mean, he was 13 seconds behind. Right now he's 10.9 seconds behind. So is he going to be able to get back to Matt Travis? 10 seconds is quite a bit of time, and he's got to improve by 5 seconds compared to Matt Travis each lap. And I mean, that's just too optimistic. So he's going to be happy with that P2. Matt Travis is going to win the Grand Prix, as it is going to be the second last lap here in Japan. Super D right now 4/10 behind Phantom. Let's have a look. He's taking these corners quite beautifully. Sims is making the move work on Grimjaw. I think Grimjaw has lost his car a little bit. We want to have a look at those tire conditions. It seems like Sims has a little bit older tires, so I mean that's not really an explanation he can use for tires to be a little, how do I say this, worn out, as it seems like Sims is really taking some risks there into that corner in sector 2, as Grimjaw is losing a little bit of pace compared to I Am Alonso, but it's not going to be enough. Super D, is he going to make the move work? It doesn't look like it, and Phantom is going to have some problems. Who is that ghosting there? I think it's a Williams driver, and it's going to be Mango, so he's not really really on track anymore. Jean with the fastest lap of 131 points something, as he is on the soft tires at the moment, but he's not going to be able to receive that point because he is P12. So yeah, Super D right now, he has enough time to make the move work on the main straight here in the start finish. Does he have a great exit? It does look like it. He is 3/10 off. He has the DRS. He has the ERS. Is it going to be enough? How many ERS does Phantom have? He has 0. Let's have a look. He's going to make the move on the outside, and he makes the move down. I think it's going to be enough. It is going to be enough as he makes the move down in lap 27. So that's going to be P3 for Super D. Is Phantom going to be able to come back? It might be very close. He has worn out tires, 21 lap old tires. That's not going to be the case compared to Super D's 12 lap old hards. So yeah, congratulations to Super D. Congratulations to Phantom to keep it up this long on these tires. Also Matt Travis. Ooh, Nadim, what is happening here? He made the 5 seconds work, but it's not going to be enough, I think. Matt Travis might have lost a little bit of pace because he's on 22 lap old hards. I mean, that's more than, I think, 80 or 90% of the race. 80% of the race he is on these hard tires, and it would be very unfortunate if he loses some traction here. 4.7 seconds, is it gonna be enough? We have to stay optimistic to see a move work. I don't think it is. Matt Travis is just gonna keep it clean on track, not making too much mistakes, as he is lifting through that corner. He doesn't want to risk anything. And here is your race winner, Matt Travis, the Red Bull driver. Congratulations to him as he is weaving across that start finish line. SAF1 Nadim in P2, Super D to Phil in P3, Phantom P4, Sims P5, and Grimjaw actually P5 because Sims had that penalty. I Am Alonso in P7, Top Dog in P8, Shumi in P9, and Thiago Maestro probably in P10 because Zardi and Jaw are in P11 and P12 quite a bit way. So it's going to be a question if Zardi is going to put in a better lap. I don't think he is. So it's going to be fastest lap for, let's have a quick look. Fastest lap for Jean. He's not really going to be able to gain that point, but that's not going to be a problem because he stole that point for the Constructors Championship, as it is going to be a combined Constructors Championship with all the divisions. And yeah, this is your position changes. Matt Travis has won the race. He's won the qualifying and he's won the race. It's going to be Nadim, 4 positions gained. Super D, absolutely amazing the race, 9 positions gained. Phantom, 6 positions gained. It's going to be Grimjaw to fill in top 5, 2 positions gained. And I mean, this is discussable, you know. Sims is in P6 with 11 positions gained, and you're gonna say he is driver of the day because he has gained the most positions. But I think the real driver of the day, Phantom is going to be driver of the day. That's quite of an interesting result, as he was in P10, currently in P4. He has only gained 6 positions, so that's not really remarkable. And in my opinion, Super D is the driver of the day. He has fought his way through the field. He has done some great overtakes, some great defending. And yeah, in my opinion, he's the driver of the day. But that's up for discussion, as this was the Japan Grand Prix around the Suzuka circuit. Again, sponsored by your daily sponsor, weekly sponsor, Auto Magneto, as they are wholesalers and retailers across the whole African region. So if you're interested, make sure to check them out, as this stream is sponsored by them. Again, this is gonna be the what's this called? The standings after the race. So Super Deep started from P12, amazing race for him, and it's gonna be Matrev, your race winner. Congratulations to him. Let's get all the way back here with Bob, who had a great start. He went all the way to P2. He started P4. He gained 2 positions in that race start, but it wasn't going to be enough because he DNF'd a couple of laps later. Arno Goss, who was showing some great pace too, didn't really keep his car on track, DNF too, and then your last DNF of the race is going to be Zivan Legits. Let's have a look back at your top 3, as this is going to be very important for the driver standings. We might have a little look at the driver standings real quick. And I'm gonna shut down my PlayStation real quick because otherwise I get copy striked again. So yeah, this is going to be your driver standings, and looking at what's happened right now, it's going to be Matt Travis in P1 for the driver standings, and then I think Phantom is going to drop to P2, and Grimjaw is going to drop a couple of positions in my opinion. Super D, he's not even on the... Wait, where is he? Where is Super D? I can't really see it. Very interesting. But yeah, doesn't really matter, as this was your Japan Grand Prix around the Suzuka circuit. I thank you very much for watching this stream. I hope I could have satisfied your watching. It was a 2-hour race, and I'm very excited for next race around... Wait, I need to take a quick look. Around Bahrain, as I was speaking about it earlier. That's gonna give even more action, I think. So make sure to stick, to mark 7 p.m. South African time in your agenda next week on Tuesday, as we will have the Bahrain Grand Prix on the calendar. See you till next week, and this